What's up, y'all? So we're heading to the Knicks game right now. Crystal got me this as a Christmas present. We're like one row behind front row, and it's the first time I've ever been that close in an NBA game.
Yeah, and since the Wizards are the worst team in the entire league, it makes the tickets a lot cheaper than they would normally be. So it's
like I wonder what those
this
tickets
is achievable.
would cost.
This is achievable.
These tickets in Madison Square Garden would probably be what?
I mean, you would know more than me.
Triple,
I have no idea.
More?
I would, yeah.
Because the Knicks are good this year, and everybody loves MSG. And
and I mean, New York City, like, you know, there's so many people there and so much demand, whatever. So, I mean, Wizards tickets are inexpensive.
Got some pretty good, got some great seats. I'm super excited for it. I'm wearing my Knicks colors. I don't know if you guys can tell, but it's as good as I could do. I have, like, Knicks hats and whatnot.
I mean, who's got a lot of orange laying around? You know? Orange.
Yeah, exactly. It's hard.
That's a tough color.
So this is as good as I can do. I got as close as I can possibly get. But anyway, we're here because Trump has officially weighed in on the MAGA civil war, and he took a side. So, Crystal, why don't you tell everybody what happened?
He appears to have sided fully and completely with, of course, the tech oligarchs, Elon Musk, Vivek, et al., saying something like, I don't have the quote right in front of me, but he said something like, I like the visas, I've always liked the visas, and then went on to say that he himself uses many H-1B workers at his properties, which I don't think is correct. I think he means H-2B visas, which is similar, but it's for like seasonal workers. That's the type that's usually used in the hospitality or construction industry, so it would make more sense that that's what he's talking about. But anyway, clearly siding with Elon Musk in the fight, which LOL.
I called it. Didn't I call it? Didn't I say that in the video?
Yeah, and he had already done this. I mean, this was floating around the internet too, and I remember this back from when he said it on the All In podcast, which is like the Tech Bro podcast. He said, you know, we need to staple visa to the degree of foreign-born students, and this is, I don't know that people understand how important this issue is to people like David Sachs, Elon Musk, and like, you know, this tech libertarian world. This is one of their top issues. Democrats have really pandered to them on this issue too. And it's not that I'm opposed to having, you know, immigrants come in and work in the tech sector, but it is a fundamentally exploitative program, both for the workers who only can be here so long as they're employed. So if you have, you know, a union busting, abusive, like discriminatory boss, as Elon Musk has been alleged to have been, and you're a worker on an H-1B visa program, like, you don't have the ability to push back against that boss. You'll just get fired, and then you'll get deported. They, you know, allows them to pay lower wages, and it's the way the program is constructed is not good. But anyway, Trump siding with the oligarchs and the billionaires because, of course, he is going to do that.
Hear me now, quote me later. This is example number one, but there will be many more. Trump will always break for the robber barons. Always. Because he did it in the first term, he's going to do it again in the second term. That's why I pull my hair out when people pretend like maybe there's a chance he'll be pro-worker, maybe there's a chance he'll be a populist, maybe there's a chance he'll be anti-establishment and anti-war. It drives me crazy because he's already proven like 78 times that that's not the case.
Yeah.
What is the 79th time the one where people are going to come to their senses and realize he's a fraud and he's a con man?
And he's already
done
backflips for them. Like, totally changed. Again, we support we don't want the TikTok ban, but he totally flipped his position on that. Totally flipped his position on crypto and Bitcoin. Totally flipped his position on this. Had run last time, remember he ran on, I'm going to close the carried interest loophole. How's that going? Like, in every instance, he has sided with capital. I mean, this is his class interest. Elon gave $250 million, and these other tech billionaires gave plenty to his campaign as well. And that wasn't for free. Like, they're going to get the things that they want to get. Elon basically bought the government, and this is one of the major goodies that he's going to receive. Now, what's going to be interesting is to see how now the MAGA base that, you know, the Laura Loomers of the world who were in revolt over this when it was Elon and Vivek who were saying it.
It's not going to be interesting.
Now that Trump has joined their side, you know, it's never his fault. It's always the people around him who mislead him and they trick him into taking the wrong positions, et cetera, et cetera. And yeah, I'm sure they'll find some way to cope with the fact that he is going directly against the thing that they wanted him to do.
There will be a handful of people who tweet disagreement with Trump, but it's not going to matter and the majority are just going to go wherever Trump wants them to go. Why do I say that? He had 91 criminal charges and still had everybody defending him like a pathetic little sycophant, right? He tried to overthrow the last election and did a fake elector slate and still had people defending him like a little sycophant. You know? Like, he ran as the anti-outsourcing guy in 2016, and then his tax bill incentivized outsourcing. Like, what more do you need to see? It's the Fell For It Again award, like I keep saying. That post with that meme of the dude standing there, fell for it again with the MAGA hat on. That's what it is, bro. I like every single time he's going to break for capital. And again, hear me now, quote me later. This is also going to be the case when it comes to Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security.
Yeah.
It's also going to be the case.
Yeah.
You're going to see it. Because he said very clearly, I'm not going to cut Medicare, I'm not going to cut Social Security. But when Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk and all these asshole tech bros around him are like, that's actually the number one thing we should cut, he's going to try to pitch it as we're just reforming it to save it, but it's effectively going to be cuts. That's what they're going to do, and this is just another great example of it here. I said it in the previous video. There was a 0% chance of him taking the opposite position on this, because that means he would have had to buck capital. And he's the biggest sellout of all of them, even though he pretends to be the opposite. That's why he took $100 million from Sheldon Adelson on 2 separate occasions. And then he allowed Israel to illegally annex the Golan Heights, and he recognized it. To the point where Miriam Adelson, Sheldon's wife, was like, I didn't expect him to go this far and give us the Golan Heights, but he did. Because he is the biggest bitch to the establishment and to the money interests of any politician.
True.
He's just great at making you think
about
he's not.
He's just absolutely brazen about it in a way that, you know, I mean, plenty of politicians sell onto capital, but the level of brazen, and also the dollar amounts we're talking about here are unprecedented. Like, we have never seen a $250 million gift into a presidential campaign. We just simply haven't seen that before. And, you know, Elon running all those contests, and he, you know, which apparently he has stiffed the recipients of the people who are supposed to, like, organize for him or sign that petition. They were supposed to get money. They haven't gotten the money. Anyway, basically running Trump's field program, buying an entire social media platform to push Trump's agenda and his presidential campaign. Like, that is a new level of billionaire control that truly is unprecedented, even as we acknowledge, like, it's been a sea of corruption and money for quite a while now. But, you know, the reason, just for people to understand why this fight is so significant, is, number one, I mean, it really is a program that these, like, tech billionaires are, it's very important to them. So for them, this was a very important issue. But the Trumpian frame, like the Trumpist frame of the world, the narrative of the world, is that you're struggling because of the immigrants and the trans people. That's basically the Trumpian frame. And the Vivek and Elon frame is the more traditional Republican, and by the way, plenty of elite liberals think this way too, but the more traditional Republican frame of, if you're struggling, it's your own fucking fault. And so Trump, with this move, has basically thrown in with that more traditional Republican, like, just absolute elitist frame. Both frames are obviously completely wrong, and the anti-immigrant frame is incredibly ugly and ends up, you know, xenophobic and racist and all of those sorts of things. But he is now effectively validating his own narrative that he sold to the public by siding with Elon, and that's why you see over this issue so much upset from the, you know, the Laura Loomers and the, like, you know, right-wing identity obsessed, I guess is the nice way to put it, part of the party.
By the way, Alex Jones came out and sided with Elon in this fight.
See, that's surprising.
That surprised me too, that he was like, yeah, we love foreign workers coming here on visas to
He wasn't joking?
Undercut American workers. Yeah, no, he wasn't joking. But, ready for this? Sloppy Steve took the side of the base.
Well, that, I mean,
against Elon.
That makes sense, but I wonder what he'll say now that Trump is siding with Elon.
That's a great question.
Are you sure Alex Jones wasn't kidding with that? Because that sounds crazy.
No, he wasn't kidding.
Wow.
Well, hold on. Let me be clear. It's possible that was like a fake
sarcasm,
post.
Yeah.
No, like a totally fake post. That's possible.
Okay.
But it definitely wasn't something he posted where he was kidding. No.
Interesting.
So, anyway. There you guys have it. So the big beefy boy breaks his silence, and he said the exact thing that I thought he would say. I told you guys the last time. He's going to side with Elon on this.
Yeah.
Because he's always going to break with capital. Because that's what he does.
Yeah.
Because at his core, he is the 4th term of George W. Bush.
I mean, he's himself a billionaire. Like, he is a union-busting billionaire. billionaire who himself has always employed plenty of foreign-born workers. Like, that is who he is.
And also, we should let them know about the text. Trump thought he was texting Elon.
Oh, yeah, that was funny.
It was either on Truth Social.
It was on Truth Social,
or
which
on
is
Twitter.
so weird because you can't be messaging Elon on Truth Social, right?
No, I think he thought he was texting.
Oh.
And he accidentally sent a truth.
Okay.
So anyway, and it was...
That's all kinds of levels of messed up.
He's 1,000 years old. That's classic old person shit, right? Like texting the group chat as opposed to the individual because one of the people is in the group chat. You know
My mom does that. It's great.
It's the classic
adorable.
old person shit.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, it was like, we miss you, a little X. When are you gonna come back? You gotta come back to the center of the universe, Mar-a-Lago. Bill Gates was just here. We love Bill Gates. And it's like, wait, hold on. I thought Bill Gates was one of the chief enemies, and he was part of the pandemic, and he was part of the vaccines, microchips in the vaccines that are poisoning everybody on purpose. Now all of a sudden, oh, would you look at that? He wants to, he wants to hang out with Donald Trump, and Trump ultimately, I've said this for a long time. I'm curious what you think of it. Trump, in his heart of hearts, you know who he wants to be? Hillary Clinton. Because the establishment loves Hillary Clinton. She's a member in good standing in elite circles and billionaire circles.
Yeah.
And Trump always yearned for that validation from the wealthy.
Yeah.
Right? And that's why you see him talk about Bill Gates hanging out here.
Yeah.
Bill Gates, like, what?
He
This
said
guy's
those
the chief
things.
villain of MAGA. Now you're fucking rubbing elbows with him and drinking cocktails?
He said all that stuff about, like, everyone wants to be my friend now. Everyone
Right.
wants to be my friend now. Like, he's loving this. So, the Elon rift with him may still come, but has not arrived yet. Clearly, Trump is like...
It'll come. When he needs a fall guy at one point, it'll come.
Yeah, but I think he is I think Trump is kind of intoxicated with the idea of these, like, cool tech guys being in his corner.
He bought into just like Rogan is the worst example of this. He bought into the myth of Elon Musk.
Yeah.
All of the myth making and all of the PR bullshit that Elon bent over backwards to try to make the case. Rogan fell for it hook, line, and sinker, and I think Trump fell for it hook, line, and sinker. They think this guy is a fucking, like, tortured genius, even though he's basically the dumbest man on the planet. No, seriously, they fell for it. They think, like, oh, he knows things. Like, no, he's an autistic weirdo with zero fucking friends who tries to get hand jobs and give people horses to get jacked off. Like, he's the weirdest man on the fucking planet. And all the good shit that came out of Elon was all, like, these other engineers who actually did the hard work. Whether it's Tesla or SpaceX or whatever the fuck, you know?
Yeah. I was just laughing at...
Getting
I forgot
jacked off
about
for a horse.
story. Having to give someone a horse to get...
Just imagine the interaction that he had. So apparently he was, like, rock hard. Walks up to some woman who, like, works for him. I'll buy you a horse if you touch my penis. Like, this is your fucking hero? This is your fucking hero? This is the savior of Western civilization? You fucking idiots? Are you kidding me? The guy's a fucking joke. What are you talking about? Deport this dumb motherfucker. Get him out of my sight. Jesus Christ. I mean,
That's incredible.
the lazy immigrant welfare queen robber baron, as we always say, deport his ass.
Yep. And, let me just plug Breaking Point's. We've got Rokana on Monday, who got sort of, like, entangled in all of this because, first of all, he represents Silicon Valley, and then somehow he ended up, like, taking strays from Laura Loomer over this whole thing.
Gee, I wonder why Laura's yelling at Rokana.
Yeah, so anyway.
That's a tough one to figure out.
Anyway, it'll be fun to talk to Ro about all of this because he's proposed some, like, actual H-1B reform that, is substantive and non just based on I hate brown people, which is what the right-wing critique of the program is.
Like,
so.
make it less exploitative.
Yeah, exactly. And so, anyway, that's